So I'm saying this, that we should have, as a policy, those people who support me in my this teaching of this kind of politics, elitist dictatorship, I call it. They support me in setting up a type of a government where I myself chooses amongst my students. How can you say that me as a professor, my vote is equal to the vote of a guy who is a drunkard? You cannot understand unless you're in Kenya to see guys lying on the floor drunk, and that is their way. Useless people completely. You can see them like that. They have made themselves so, but it's not by will. I'll come to that one later. But he has an ID. He's a Kenyan. And so he has a vote, just like me, a professor has a vote. So when we are choosing somebody, his vote and my vote are the same. That's nonsense. It's a big nonsense that you are putting in by the white man, so that you are actually choosing the person who will be the foreman of the bigger farm, feudal farm, called an African county. I'm saying that because I've done, you see, when you are teaching political science, you teach history as a minor subject. The reason is that you want to show what was happening in those governments and what is happening now. So when I was doing a research on how the colonialists were behaving amongst the Kikuyu, because that's where I was doing my research. That's why I concentrated on. That's why because that is, I belong there, I'm born there with a sheep. They used to have a white man who had colonized. He was a colonizer. I don't know how to call such a person, a settler from Europe. He has chunks and chunks of land. I mean, a very big land. And then he has these Kikuyus plucking flowers and milking for him. If he said you go out of that farm, you'll be thrown out by the tribal police that they had. So that they had foremen when they were now picking at Perethram, because that is the part which interested me most, picking of Perethram. Because it is so easy that they would also employ child labor and women and men. It was that humiliating. And this foreman would come after you to make sure that you pluck the proper flower and you don't leave some behind. And if he said that you are not doing the right job and therefore you should be taken out of that farm, then you'll be taken out from that. So they were very powerful. So I was told that they were also very naughty. Because you see, beforehand, the Kikuyus had very good culture. They will not do some of the things that started happening when they were under colonialism. So that these guys would go as far as when a wife of somebody is picking up Perethra, they would come and touch the breast of that woman who is a wife of another. And if she does not agree, then they would be reported and the whole family would be taken out. And now the husband will call him, why did you not let him touch the breast? Now what kind of problem have you put us into? Look at this. Because now they are on the street. They have nothing to eat. That's how badness was brought out by this kind of colonialism. Just us. And I'm saying this because I'm a Muslim. I don't participate in such things that happen in the Kenyan universities when I was looking at it. That if it was a beautiful lady, a student actually, she will not pass. She will not pass unless she has slept with the professor. And you are talking about professors being very few in Kenyan universities. It's because many of them have died of HIV and AIDS. I've done that research. There was a Jehovah's Witness lady who refused, and I was taken to Hurlingham where she kept a saloon, and she was very bright. But you see, Jehovah's Witnesses do not condone to those kind of nonsense of those professors. So this is what I'm saying, that this education system is upside down, and I'm here to bring it up. And I cannot unless I have taken over the government. And I have a way of taking over the government because that is my thesis. When I'm engaging the young men, the Gen Z, elitist Gen Z, it is actually to take over the Kenyan government as you see it. How? I found amongst the people, because in East Africa they speak Swahili, and they have a very good saying that dawa ya moto ni moto, fire, medicine for fire is fire. So when I talk about democracy being a democracy, the only way to remove it is actually to have so many votes that they cannot be ignored. Number one. Number two it is to impress the military, the Kenyan military, that if I take over the government, I'll give them 3 times their salary. Where will I get the money? That one is easy, not from Europe. The politicians, the moment my man, because I call it president by proxy, I have a young man standing there because he's my student, then they will not get any salary. They can get other things, other benefits, but they will not get any salary. That money will go to the military. And even more, you see, as I teach in politics, politics is something seasonal. You don't plant in Africa, you don't plant a plant when it is not seasonal, the rainy season. So this time, the only time one can do this is when Ruto is leaving. So that to tell him, no, you are not going to leave. You'll be my prime minister. Only do this. Announce that I have overthrown the government, which he will do very, very well. Yes, because he has to understand that we who go by what is written in the books, God says that when you agree with somebody, you do not go against that agreement. So when I agree with Ruto that will be the prime minister, no way will I let him down, let alone. Why? Because, you see, the Kikuyu are very foolish. They were told that there is no tribalism, so they did not feel the military with their people. But when this Moi came in, he put his people there. And when Ruto came, he promoted all of them. So that when I was doing the survey, I found that it is nonsense the Kikuyu even to complain. What are you complaining about? You gave out the government, fooled by democracy. So Ruto is my man, loved by me. Why? Because when he is running down the economy, when he is doing all sorts of bad, then I cheer my fellow Kikuyu. I tell them, look, you are fooled by demon crossing. You are told it is something from heaven. It was a demon dressed in the clothes of an angel, so that all Africa will leave it. And you see, it will be an overthrowing of the system, not the government. The government has no problem. It is the system, which is not just in Kenya, but it is in the whole of Africa. So I tell these opposition guys, they say, oh, one term he will not succeed. How can you say you will not succeed? You are trying to say that you'll cut a Mogumo tree with a laser blade. You will not remove Ruto with a lot of money that he has acquired. With the military behind him. Nonsense about your democracy. Thank you. I'll come to the next one later on. Thank you very much, my Gen Z.